Welcome, friends. Today we are going to make a no-churn Squozen Cola ice cream. I've played with this a few times trying to get it right, and I think this is the one that's going to work out. So we start out with 3 cups of whipping cream, and that is 35% milk fat whipping cream. And I'm just going to whip this to sort of stiff peaks. So that looks good. Now the idea with a no-churn ice cream is that you're churning the air in ahead of time by whipping the whipped cream. And that addition of air keeps the ice cream from turning into a solid block. It turns it into something that is creamy and actually has a great mouthfeel and tastes good. The next thing in here is going to be condensed milk. Now the idea with the condensed milk is that it's been condensed. The water has been evaporated off, the milk has been condensed down, and you've gotten rid of water, which is something that you don't want in your ice cream. And then they add sugar to it. Up to 55% of this can of condensed milk is actually sugar. And the sugar that they put in is usually an invert sugar, and it helps, again, to keep the ice cream from crystallizing. So we just want to fold that in. You want to fold it in without losing too much of the air that you put into the whipped cream. And now I'm going to put in, I'm not quite finished folding it in, but I'm going to add the flavoring so that I can do all of the folding at once. This is our Squozen Cola flavor concentrate. So there's no sugar in this bottle. And I'm going to put in, this is 2 tablespoons. I might put in 3 tablespoons and see where that gets us. The flavor's pretty concentrated, and I think that's going to be all we need. So I'm just going to fold this in. I just had a brilliant idea. Julie and I are adults. This is adult ice cream. Maybe some rum or some rye. Rum and Coke, rye and Coke. Let's go see which one we want to put in. Rum or rum? No. Let's do this. Okay, splash or 2 of Canadian Club's small batch sherry cask whiskey. Not too much, maybe a tablespoon, and we'll fold that in. Now, alcohol is another one of those freeze inhibitors. And what that's going to do is going to keep the ice cream from freezing solid again. It acts sort of like the air. Of course, it's going to bring flavor as well. But if you don't want to put it in, don't put it in. You don't have to. I just thought, hey, I like it. I'm going to put it in. So at this point, you could transfer this to another container and put it in the freezer. That's going to be interesting. But I'm going to leave it in this container, stick it in the freezer, probably 5 or 6 hours before you can eat this, and then we'll come back and have a taste.
Spoons. That's like cheat testing.
It is cheat testing. Okay, so
That's pretty hard.
it's the texture's really weird, and I think that's the, well, I know what that is. That's the flavoring, the cola
Okay, that's
flavoring.
probably lots. I'm afraid now.
Um,
Should I be afraid?
well, based on that little test, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's got a, like just looking at it, it's got an odd. It's very crystal, not creamy. Just looking at it.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
no, it's very creamy.
Okay.
It is very creamy. But the flavor's weird. To me,
Okay. Go ahead.
I put in 3 tablespoons of the cola flavoring, of the Squozen Cola flavoring.
Squozen Cola.
I think I would dial that back even farther. I think it's overpowering. I think it should be more like the root beer was that subtle root beer flavor.
I like the root beer one. I like this one though. I mean, but this one does kind of hit you.
Yeah, like a smack in the face.
And it's got the whatever it is that gives it the Squoze and Cola, that bit of a lemon that's very dominant in
Yeah.
this. Like it comes out more in this than it does in the cola.
In the cola.
And I wonder what's bringing that out.
Yes, it could be. Well, I also put in some rye
Oh,
because rye and Coke ice cream. Why not rye and Coke ice cream?
you're sticking that in. Okay. And maybe that's the flavor I taste and not the...
There's a whole pile of different things that could be combining to change these flavors. So I think as a one-off, I would probably dial back the flavoring compound a little bit. I might bump up the whiskey.
There's no harm in that. But that doesn't freeze very well. That's,
Well,
that's the challenge, right?
And that would keep it a little bit softer. Because
And maybe that's what's making it all... Like, because it is creamy, but it's an odd... Like, it doesn't scoop in a nice, lovely shape. It kind of...
does have an odd texture. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I guess this is
Yeah,
what...
but you know what? I don't think I could eat more than a spoon of it.
Oh,
It's
no.
like, I'm done now.
Yeah. So this is what experimenting in the kitchen is all about. You take a chance, you try something, you play with it a few times, and then you come up with, maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, because now that I'm another
Yeah.
spoon in, it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm done.
And I think that's that overpowering flavor. I think if I knock this back to maybe even just 2 teaspoons of that cola flavoring, I think that would give it that subtle flavor that you would need. The texture might not have gone to this. It's weird because it's creamy in your mouth, but it's
It looks weird. It's
yeah.
visually not appealing. It visually, you'd think it had been frozen, thawed and refrozen. It looks very geological in the
Yeah.
way that it's got striations on
it's
it.
fractured.
Yeah, fractured. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
So total weirdness. If you're looking for total weirdness for your next party, Ryan Coke or
Squoze and Cola.
Ryan and Squoze and Cola ice cream. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.